Okay, Melissa. Melissa from Durham has a good question. I think that really applies to a lot of folks.
Absolutely. She's asking about her daughter.
Right.
We have a lot of patients with this too. So her daughter has gained weight from being on steroids. In her case, it was related to her asthma, which is a common breathing condition that you need to go on steroids a lot in some cases. She's asking, is there any way to prevent this? And the answer is yes, I would say. You know, it's hard because steroids are a kind of medication that are wonderful at lowering inflammation and helping you feel better if you have asthma or a severe respiratory infection or some other kind of infection. They work, they really do. However, they do come with some issues related to our blood sugar and our stress hormone, cortisol, and that can cause increase in appetite and to water retention. So they're not fun from a side effect standpoint, but because they're so widely used, they're so effective, we do have to deal with those side effects and those consequences. And part of our metabolic assessment and our new patient visit goes over things like, are you on steroids currently? Have you been on them before? Do you cycle on and off them? Because that's going to matter in the treatment plan. I always tell folks when they are taking steroids to be extra cautious about being on a low carbohydrate diet. Drinking plenty of water, really restricting refined sugars and starches, because a steroid is kind of already making your blood sugar do this roller coaster thing.
Sure is.
And if you're eating a bunch of sugar or drinking juice on top of it, it's a problem. It's bigger roller coaster. And that's going to be an issue for weight gain and for really increasing the appetite, not helping manage the appetite. And we also use a medication a lot in our practice, I mentioned, called metformin. And you've heard us talk about it before on our AMAs. And metformin is really remarkable in how it helps regulate blood sugar and insulin. Yes,
it helps keep that in check, and it can be used in most preteens and teens. And I think, look, medicine. Think of the medicine that we use here as either really slowing down or stopping that weight gain, and even causing someone to be able to lose weight during that time. You won't lose weight as fast if you're on prednisone.
Right.
But look, most people we see on prednisone are gaining weight, and they're gaining it rapidly.
Yeah.
So just putting a stop to that is the first step. And it takes medicine in most cases to be able to. These steroids will dramatically increase your cravings and desire for sugary things and carbohydrate-laden things. And so taking some medicine to help with that makes a difference. Getting on a low-carb diet, which will keep your insulin level more in check, will also decrease those cravings. So we really try to help with that, because asthma is not the only condition that we see where steroids are used.
Right.
Yeah, they're used in a lot of conditions. And so anyway, it's a common thing that we run into.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. We do see this a lot.
I think really it's not just, I would just say that extends to other kind of medications.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah. And so you think really one kind of class of medications that really has this problem too are things used to treat various psychiatric conditions like depression or anxiety, as a bipolar disorder or schizophrenia. These things can be notorious for this sort of thing and can put on tremendous amounts of weight if you don't combine it with some of these medicines that we use here to try to really stop that weight gain. The psychiatrists are getting a lot more in tune with that concept than they used to be.
Yes,
but we see this all the time. So the concept is not unusual here, and we're used to dealing with it.
Yeah. Exactly. And there are even blood pressure medicines, just to give you an idea. It's not just psychiatric meds or steroids. Right. There are even common blood pressure medicines and cardiac medicines that can make it harder to lose weight and easier to gain weight. And again, this metabolic assessment that we do here in our practice helps individuals understand that putting the same amount of effort in when you're on one of those medications may result in slower weight loss. That doesn't mean you will not lose weight, but it is a potential barrier or kind of a road bump that we have to know that we're approaching, and we have to get through it knowing that, our expectations are going to have to be a little different. But again, we have medications to help counteract that. Maybe take down how high that speed bump is, make it a little easier to get over. And in our practice, we are comfortable using all medications that are approved by the FDA for weight loss. Many we have on site here in our pharmacy, including the metformin and including a very popular appetite suppressant phentermine, because they work. They're extremely helpful. They've been around for decades. And for things like weight gain, where other medications are partially to blame for it, they can be extremely helpful, especially that metformin to add to the regimen.
That's right.
So Melissa, you can give us a call or talk to your daughter's pediatrician about what other options there could be to help with the weight gain. Thanks for your question.